Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the social science class. Let us continue with the lesson Advent of Europeans to India. Today, in this lesson, we will be studying about two very important battles, that is, the Battle of Plassey, the Battle of Buxar, and about the dual government. So, let us begin, children. After gaining political control over South India, the British tried to gain control over the Bengal province. Bengal province was very rich. Okay, so it had achieved lot of progress in agriculture, commerce, and industry. Therefore, the East India Company was making a lot of profit from this province, that is Bengal. The dastaks issued by the Mughal ruler Farooq Shiara were the main reasons for this. Dastak means what? It was a license that can ensure anyone to carry on trade, that is, import or export, or buying and selling of goods, transporting goods. They could transport it anywhere and everywhere without paying any tax. So it was like a free license to carry on trade. Okay, but these dastaks, it was limited only to the company transactions. Actually, only the East India Company had the right to make use of that dastak. But it so happened that some individual officers, that is from the East India Company, they were misusing it. So this resulted in huge loss to the Bengal government. Hence, all the Nawabs from Murashid Ali Khan to Ali Vardi Khan, they were opposing such misuses. Later, this led to confrontation, fights, clashes between the Nawabs and the company. So this resulted in two crucial wars which charted a decisive course to Indian history. Okay, as I already told you, the two wars were Battle of Plassey and the Battle of Buxar. Battle of Plassey was fought in the year 1757. The Nawab of Bengal, that is Ali Vardi Khan, died in the year 1756. After that, his grandson Sirajud-Dowla came to the throne, and this Battle of Plassey was fought between Sirajud-Dowla, that is the Nawab of Bengal, and the British. So now what were the reasons for this battle? First of all, misuse of dastaks. Secondly, mending of the fort without the permission. Thirdly, the Black Room tragedy. Let us understand one by one. So Sirajud-Dowla, the Nawab, was quite angry that the dastaks, or the license to trade, was misused by the officials of the East India Company, because of which there was lot of losses faced by the government. Okay, so he was very upset, he was angry due to this misuse of dastak. Secondly, mending of the fort without permission. What the Britishers did was they repaired the fort of Calcutta and they placed cannons, weapons, and all in them. This further angered the Nawab Sirajud-Dowla, and he ordered that the Britishers should remove all the cannons from the fort. The Britishers refused to do so. Okay, why the Nawab got angry? Because he is the king there. Without his permission, the Britishers were doing all this. Thirdly, Black Room tragedy. Now, in anger, Sirajud-Dowla, in order to teach a lesson to the British, he conquered the Fort William and he imprisoned some of the Britishers. Around 146 Englishmen were put in a small room in the fort, okay, which did not have proper ventilation and all. In a small room, he just dumped the English men in order to punish them, out of which 123 died. So this incident only is called as the Black Room tragedy, and this incident made the English, especially Robert Clive, very angry. Therefore, he arrived in Bengal with a large army. So, Robert Clive, he attracted or he made friendship with some of the Indians, okay, with some rich Indians like Manik Chand, Omi Chand, Jagat Seth, and others. Okay, what he did, he bribed them and he made friends with them. He was even successful in convincing and assuring Mir Jafar, who was the military head of Siraj ud Dawla, to stay neutral in the battle by offering him the post of Nawab of Bengal. So, Robert Clive very cunningly what he did, he told the military commander Mir Jafar, he told you just keep quiet, don't go to help Siraj ud Dawla, your Nawab. If you be like on our side, I will make you the Nawab of Bengal. Encouraged by all these developments, Robert Clive declared war against Sirajud Dawla, and everything went on according to the plan of Clive. Sirajud Dawla could not fight with the British. He tried to escape from the battlefield, but he was captured and he was killed. So, what was the outcome? What was the result of this battle? Let us see. This war brought out the immortality. We came to know about the values of our Indians. There was no unity among them, and even the greed for money among the Indian businessmen, because of which they did not help their own Nawab but they helped the British. Secondly, as promised, the military commander Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. Thirdly, the company gained full rights to do business in Bengal. Okay, see, they only came for the purpose of trade. Who? The Britishers. Now, the whole right to trade in Bengal went to them. Like this only, slowly, part by part, many places in India came under their control. Not only that, Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs as a relief, as a fine, because Sirajud Dawla had attacked Fort William. That much money he had to pay from the government treasury to the British. So, on the whole, children, Mir Jafar became continuous victim of the company and its employees. He was almost like a puppet in the hands of the British. Even though the treasury, like it suffered lot of loss, it became bankrupt due to this greedy nature, the greediness of the company and the officials, it was never satisfied. The British, they projected, they made to believe, they presented in a scene in such a way that Mir Jafar was not efficient. Okay, he was not a good king, and brought his nephew, that is Mir Qasim, as the new Nawab of Bengal. So, like this, the Britishers tried to gain maximum profit from the Bengal province. So, now they wanted to keep this Mir Qasim under their control. Now, let us study about the Battle of Buxar, which was fought in the year 1764. So, Mir Qasim, the new Nawab, was an efficient administrator. Very good he was. In the beginning, he remained faithful and loyal to the Britishers, to the company. He paid 2 lakh pounds to the company and even gave away few places to them. Shortly, after some time, he felt that he needs to exercise in his own power. Okay, he declared himself as an independent king. After verifying that how the dastaks were misused, he declared that the business in Bengal is duty free. That is, without paying taxes, people can carry on trade in Bengal. As a result, the Indians were now able to compete with the British in all the spheres of business, because only the company officials were benefited. Now, the Nawab even gave permission for the Indians also to carry on business. because of which the British trade suffered a lot. And this was enough for the British to dislike or to oppose the Nawab, that is Mir Qasim. So, what they did, they brought in Mir Jafar, okay, who was dethroned. They brought Mir Jafar again and dethroned Mir Qasim because Mir Qasim was not obedient to them. As Mir Qasim knew how cunning the Britishers were, he organized an war against them. He took the help of some of our Indian merchants and the artisans. He made agreements with the Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and the Nawab of Awadh Shuja-ud Dawla, and all the combined forces, that is Mir Qasim along with Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and the Nawab of Awadh, they attacked the British. The British army was led by Hector Munro, and at a place called as Buxar, the battle was fought in 1764. The result was Mir Qasim was defeated and he ran away from the battlefield. Shah Alam II, the Mughal ruler, surrendered. The effort of the combined forces of the Indians to stop the British force was a failure. So, what was the outcome of this war? Let us see. Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. The king only gave the right to collect revenue to the British. Not only that, Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. Okay, every year, that is 26 lakhs we will give to you, they said. Therefore, all the rights of Bengal, this Shah Alam II Mughal ruler gave off to the British. Thirdly, the Nawab of Awadh had to give a fine of rupees 50 lakh. Why? Because he helped this Mir Qasim, no? He joined with him to fight with the British. Therefore, as a punishment, 50 lakh rupees he had to give to the British. Then the last thing is, with the death of Mir Jafar, the company paid pension to his son. Okay, Mir Jafar died. So the company gave pension to his son and full Bengal they took under their control. So what happened after the Battle of Buxar? If we see, the Britishers became the real holders of power. They became very powerful over Bihar, Bengal and Odisha provinces. Even Awadh was under their control. In the year 1765, Robert Clive introduced something called as dual government, a policy called as dual government. According to this, the Nawab of Bengal had to see the administrative issues, okay, imparting justice to the people, whatever are the problem of the people, he has to see to that. But the collection of land revenue was done by the British. So, like this, children, the English gained complete political control over India in order to protect their business interest. Their main aim was trade, business, to take money, to make money from India. They came, okay, and through the dual government, they were quite happy. So, like this, children, the British gained political control over India, mainly to protect their business interest. So with this we end the first chapter. Okay, make points and keep studying at home. Thank you.